Hello, good morning. I hope that you're all well and that you've had a good week. I've had a fabulous week. I've made use of every single minute and I have jammed so much into it. In today's Flosstube, we're going to have a look at lots of different things. I've had two antique samplers arrive that I want to share with you. They promise to have some fabulous backstories. I want to share with you a new acquisition and some new storage ideas. Okay, so my new needlework goodie that's come in the post. Now, you know I love my Kahanas. I really love collecting them, and here's just some of the Kahanas that I've got. They're beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I get a thrill out of looking at my Kahanas every time I sit down to stitch. Now, those are the embroidery scissors. Oh, and by the way, on the 21st of November, Kahana released their winter colours, and there's two colours in their winter range. I will be buying some, that is for certain. Now, I have been waiting for a very long time for Kahana's shears to come back into stock. And this week, my shears have arrived. And they are amazing. They've been out of stock for quite some time, but they are now back in stock. They're beautiful. They have the same lacquered handles that we have on our embroidery scissors, and they're just beautifully made, and they're just so positive when you cut with them. Now, I actually cut a huge amount of linen, and these scissors will be fabulous for cutting linen. The moment I unpacked them, that was the first thing I went to do, was to see how they cut through linen. I cut loads of linen for all the models that Hands Across the Sea samplers have stitched. And these were really, really lovely. They sit so well in the hand, and the cutting action, it's really very positive, very crisp. I like these a lot. They're available in this beautiful dark red. I would call this a cricket ball red or an oxblood. It's very, very deep. It's amazing the depth of colour they've managed to get. And then the other ones are the red. I was so tempted to go for the red, but these won out. With scissors, especially sort of shears, you want them to last a lifetime, and you want them to be of a standard that if they do blunt over time, that you can have them resharpened. And these are scissors I know that will be that will last my lifetime. Really, really pleased with them. Fabulous. Now, all I've got to do is get Minnie McBeans to make a scissor fob for these. I'm sure Sue will. Now, the scissors come with a really lovely sheath, leather sheath, with a tassel on. And they come in the little wooden boxes that are embroidery scissors come in, but on a larger scale. And inside the box you have a lovely sort of cleaning cloth for your scissors, so that you can polish up the handles and the blades. And also, if you're storing them, that you can protect them. I won't be storing them in the box. These will be in constant use and will be in my craft bag where I store my larger tools. Now, these scissors are available from Kahana's website. They're based in Japan, but they do ship around the world. But if you are in the US, I do know that Hobby House have got these in stock. They are on Hobby House Needleworks website. Beautiful. So, you know, treat yourself this Christmas. I don't think you will regret the purchase. In the week, I saw somebody talking about the Leatherology cases, leather cases, and I want to show you my Leatherology cases. I have a few different ones, and this is 2 of them. These are jewellery boxes, and they really lend themselves to a needlework case. I've got them in my favourite colour, and I've had my initials put on them. I think it's a good idea to have your initials put on cases that you're going to use when you travel through needlework. When I sat down at the attic earlier this year, and everybody was unpacking, so many of us had these lovely Kahana cases, not Kahana, Kahana cases, and it would have been, you know, it would have been very easy to have walked out with somebody else's case. So it's a good idea to have your initials put on there. Now, this case, I've got my Minnie McBean's Queen of the Frogs zipper pull on, and if I just open it up for you. Okay, so it's nice and deep. It's so deep that you can actually stand your spools up, your 103 spools. But let's have a look at the lid first. These unclip, and so do these. It's a jewellery case. These are meant to be for earrings, and I presume that these are for to be able to slide rings through, but they lend themselves so nicely to being a needlework case. Now, the case is a great size. I can put my needlework, the glasses I wear when I'm doing needlework. I can put my scissors in. I can fit a 4-inch hoop in comfortably, and this is my travel hoop, and that's very, very comfortable. I can fit in a selection of spools of silk, and then you have inside this little elasticated area, which is great for putting in, you know, small things that you could easily misplace. Now, I can't remember whether these 2 pouches came with this larger jewellery case, or whether one was in the smaller one. I can't remember, but these little cases are so useful. Not cases, pouches. I keep my little packs of needles in this one, and in this one, you know, you can pop your scissors to stop them catching on your linen if your linen is inside whilst you're travelling. The product quality is amazing with Leatherology. It's a really, really good make. Now, the smaller one I use for keeping 103 spools of silk, and you can get 8 in there. It's a perfect size for storing your Overasvar silks while you're travelling. They also do vanity cases, and a friend of mine, she has both sizes of the vanity case, and she uses her larger vanity case to put all her cases in that she uses while she travels, and then when she gets to a retreat or a workshop, she can just unzip the one case and she's got everything in there that she could possibly need. Go along and have a look at the Leatherology website and their little leather cases and pouches. They are lovely, really, really nice. Now, I do have to admit that my Kahana one probably is my favourite one, and the reason for that is when I fly, I try to fly with as least luggage as possible. It just makes flying so much easier. And although I'm known to fly with lots of suitcases, those suitcases are crammed with needlework things that are related to my purpose of travelling. But my little travel case, I want so that I can stitch whilst I am travelling, and predominantly on the plane, and this takes up a lot less room in my handbag or my tote bag than this one does, and I think it's because it's quite a bit shallower than the Leatherology one. And I also think that the oval shape, it's a good shape for tucking inside a handbag or a tote bag. So I tend to favour this one, but this is absolutely superb as well. They're not quite the same red, but they're a jolly good match. So even though this is made by Kahanas and this one by Leatherology, it can all form part of your travel kit. Okay, I'm waffling a bit there now, aren't I? Let's have a look at the samplers that I wanted to share with you. Now, this little sampler this one came a few weeks ago, but it's only sort of now that I've really had the chance to delve in and explore this sampler. So those are the front colours, but I would now like to show you the back colours. Look at that, isn't that pretty? And I do feel that if Alice was looking at this needlework, this would be her needlework that she would recognise. These were the colours that Alice chose to stitch her sampler. This was her choice. The front colours are what time has done to the sampler. It's very, very pretty, but I do think that when you're reproducing a sampler, it's really nice to use the back colours if you can. Now, I've actually sat down and I've stitched this border out 3 times, and the bottom section 3 times, trying to find the perfect colours for this border and this green. And on my 3rd attempt last night, I really feel as if I've cracked the right colours. When you're reproducing, you can take a spool of thread and you can lay it over the colour you're trying to match, and it looks as if it matches. But when you go to put it down with other colours and you stitch it, it might not be perfect. And I really do try and match colours very, very carefully. So anyway, I really feel that last night about midnight, I was happy with the colours, and what I intend to do now after I finish this video is go and have a look at my stitching with fresh eyes and in daylight to see if I feel the same way. This little girl, this is a Cornish sampler, stitched not too far from my home, an easy journey to the little village, and it's very, very charming. Now, I think if I have found the right Alice Tippett, she died a year after she finished her sampler. She died when she was 12. That's very sad. I'm looking, well, I know it sounds silly saying looking forward to researching somebody who's died when she was 12, but I am looking forward to uncovering the story that surrounds this little sampler. And I think it's so lovely how it says sweet home. I love that. Now, there's some things that we can learn from this sampler, and it's always when you look at the back of the sampler that you can sort of see into the little girl's mind, their character, and also discover how the sampler was stitched. Well, because it's here, this little bit of stitching here, it goes through the turnover. So we know that this sampler was hem stitched before she laid any cross stitches on her sampler. So this little girl sat down with a piece of fabric and she hem stitched it all the way around. And we also know that this little girl, she stitched in hand. She did not stitch this with a hoop. One of the interesting things about this sampler, and I've got to admit, I've not seen this before. Right, so you've got her little turned over hem, which she is very, very neatly stitched with a little fine thread that matches the colour of the fabric. But look what she's done. She has started her threads in the hem stitched area, the turned over area. So she started the thread there and taken it down here. I just think that's just really quirky. I've not seen that before. She's done that in quite a few places. I need to think about this a little bit more and why she did that and what was in her mind as she did it. So she's made a little knot in the hem stitch turnover of her fabric and then started the threads. Very, very interesting. And the other thing I thought was very, very interesting. See this row of cross stitches? When you look at the back, she has stuck to a consistent stitch path for her cross stitch all the way across, and she's done that on this one and on this one as well. We can see from the pattern on the back the exact stitch path she took when she stitched her cross stitch. I just love that little insight into this sampler. Very, very sweet. Okay, so this is my finish of Sophie Kane. I showed you this sampler in last weekend's Flosstube when it was partially stitched. My needles flew on this sampler. I'm sure that Sophie was driving my hand. I don't think I've ever stitched so much per stitching session before on a sampler. It was just, my needles were literally flying and I wasn't rushing it, I was savouring it. Very, very lovely stitch, this one. I've had lots of inquiries about what red I've used, and the red was 681 from Elvera Soir 103. And this little sampler has touches of black just in this little flower head. And I didn't want to use a harsh black. Like DMC 310 or Soir d'Algérie Noir, those are hard black. I much prefer to use a soft black, not a grey, it's still black, but it's softer, it's mellowed. And in the Soir 103 range, they have 774, and it's a really super black for reproduction samplers. Now, the other sampler I want to talk about today, it's a pair of sister samplers stitched by, I'm just going to give their names. I haven't researched to find their names. I have found the girls. They lived on Yewshaw Moor and they went to St Joseph's School. And when I was researching them quickly before I bought the sampler, I did find the two girls. There they are in later life, the two sisters that stitched this sampler. It was lovely to have this extra bit of information come through with the samplers. Look at that pretty dress that she's wearing. And that looks like some really nice embroidery on her jacket. Very nice. Now, what was really lovely with these samplers, there came an invitation to a party on New Year's Eve held in Mr. Atkinson's rooms. Now remember, those two girls, their surname was Atkinson, and it was from 7:30 p.m. to 3 a.m. It was 2 shillings per couple, or a single gent was 1 shilling and a single lady was 1 penny. And music was supplied by Mr. T. Scott and Party, and refreshments were supplied by Mrs. Atkinson. And it's a private quadrille party. I thought that was really lovely. And this must have meant something to these little girls, or young ladies as they would have been when they went to the party. And we actually have a dance card. This was this young lady's dance card, and there were 25 dances, and there was all sorts of dances. There was a triumph, a set of quadrilles, a scotchkey, the lancers, the waltz, the Caledonians, the polka, the waltz cotillion. All sorts of dances. It sounds very, very exciting, and it shows the programme of all the dances. Oh, I'm sorry about this light. And then it shows her dance card and who her partners were. And, you know, she had a busy night. She danced an awful lot. So there were 25 dances. 1, 2, 3, 4, and she only sat down for 5 dances. So she was a popular young lady. I wish I knew which of the 2 sisters this dance card was for. Now, why did she keep a dance card? Was it because she met her husband? Did she fall in love at this dance? A little heart has been drawn on it and 2 kisses. So maybe she did. There must have been a reason why she kept this. The surname that appears the most on the dance partner is Robinson, and H. Robinson. We need to find out if she married an H. Robinson. That's something to investigate. Anyway, I just can't wait to explore these 2 girls' history. The samplers are quite nice as well. There's a little bit of darning on both of the samplers, which will be interesting, and there's some lovely colours as well. One was worked in they were both worked in 1879. One was finished in September and one was finished in the December, but there is 3 years difference between the 2 girls. Okay, before I go, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who has downloaded or purchased the needlework of Dorothy Sampson. We have more booklets in, and they are all packed. The parcels are booked in, and the courier is picking them up tomorrow to go to our distributors in the US. I think that the charts literally flew out the moment they landed. Everybody seems to be very, very excited about this pin. I'm sorry about the light, about this pin cushion. I had fun doing it. I wanted to do something a little bit different, and this honesty is the best policy. This little motto sampler just seemed to me ideal to go on the top of a mattress pin cushion. And everything from this pin cushion was taken from Dorothy's marking sampler. And just in case anybody's watching for the first time, this is Dorothy's little coloured sampler, and it looks so beautiful on the Lallybrock linen, which is a new linen from Tabby Cat Linen. Thank you so much. There are, I would imagine by Wednesday a further supply will hit our distributors. You've kept me very busy packing this little girl, so thank you. Okay, the week ahead, well, on Monday, I'm off to London with Sue. We're meeting two of our needlework friends, Elizabeth and the Contented Stitcher, and we're going to have a couple of nights in London and a whole day together where we're going to go to the Foundling Hospital. It's somewhere I've wanted to go for a long time, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then we're going to have a nice lunch together, and I know we're going to talk all day long. We always do. Needlework friends, they're the best. They really are. Okay, so because I'm away, I'm not going to get much stitching done, but I do hope that next weekend I will be able to show you my progress on Alice Tippett's sampler. Okay, until the next time, stay safe, stay well, bye-bye.